Hey everybody, it's Greg Havel, again from the Woodstock Club here in Indianapolis, Indiana. Today we are in part 2 of a 3-part series on putting. And today we're going to talk about some of the mechanics of a good putting stroke and how to set up to hit a putt. So first of all, we just want to talk about the grip. So you'll notice that on most putters, the top of the grip is flat. And so therefore we call it a paddle grip. Most grips on your golf club are much rounder, and this has a much flatter grip on top. And the whole idea there is to get the pads of your thumbs on top of the grip. And when you get your hands positioned like that, it kind of locks your wrist in and keeps your hands out of the stroke. And again, I believe it encourages a nice little shoulder motion, which we'll talk about here in just a minute. So as far as the actual grip goes, you're going to see people do a 10-finger grip. You're going to see people run their right index finger down the grip. A lot of tour players use what's called a reverse overlap grip, where you've got 3 fingers of the right hand on the grip, 3 fingers of the left hand, and you simply run your left index finger right down the grip against the fingernails of your right hand. And so again, that is called a reverse overlap and does a really nice job of keeping your wrists locked in and staying nice and solid. Others use a left hand low, a little cross-handed method, where the left hand, typically the right hand is lower for a right-handed player, but a lot of right-handed golfers now are using what's called a left hand low, extending the left arm, leveling the shoulders out, and that helps us do a nice job of leading with a firm left wrist and a nice straight left arm. And I even run my index finger down, I putt cross-handed, and that just allows me to I'm always trying really hard, just like in chipping, not to allow that putter head to pass way by my hands. I'm kind of trying to lead through with my hands and just keep the natural loft on the putter. It allows me to kind of hit the ball a little bit more solid, so it looks a little something like this. Okay, so the next thing we want to talk about is just simply a triangle that we form as we address the ball. As we address the ball, we've got a line across our shoulders, our arms are hanging down, and we want to form this triangle. And the whole idea for me is to try to get the putter moving, actually moving back and through with the shoulders. Not just the wrist and the hands, but to keep the shoulders intact, involved in the putting stroke. Definitely want to incorporate the shoulders and take the hands out of the stroke. Next, just want to talk a little bit about posture. So as we set up to a putt, I like to see a slight flex to the knees, bend from the waist so that the hips move back, shoulders come forward. I definitely like the face more down rather than up and looking down the nose. I want you to try to get your face a little bit flatter to the ground in a position that our eyes are much more directly over the ball. You'll notice a lot of people that you play with, a lot of amateur golfers that you play with, their putter, they stand too far away from the ball, their eyes are way on the inside, and their putter is sitting on the heel. The whole idea is to get closer into the ball, get that putter sitting nice and flat to the ground, get the lie angle nice and flat, and get your eyes in a position where you can get your eyes over the ball so that you can see your line much better. Next, we're going to talk about ball placement. Okay. I never like to see a ball position back towards the right foot. Middle of the stance is fine. Slightly forward towards the left foot for a right-handed golfer is good. You can even play the ball as far forward as the big toe on your left foot. I like to get the ball forward, and I'll tell you why here in just a moment. But so, you can experiment around with where you get the ball rolling the best and hit the putt most solid based on where the ball is in your stance. But I like it nice and forward again. I try to position my weight a little bit more on the front foot, and we'll even do some practice drills where I'm just putting on my left foot and lifting up my right foot to just for stability. One of the biggest issues, one of the biggest errors that I see is people moving their hips and their legs and their putting stroke. You want your whole body to be quiet. You want to be as still as you can possibly be throughout your stroke. And even from this position, I see way too many golfers putt and they do this. They stand up, they pull their putter up, they let go of the putter, they step back. Good players will keep their posture throughout the stroke. you hit the putt, you're looking down, you tilt your head and watch the ball roll, but you want to maintain your posture throughout the stroke. So again, for me, when I play the ball a little bit more forward, when we play it back, we tend to catch the ball a little bit more on the downstroke. We play it in the middle, we might catch it a little bit more at the bottom of the arc, but I'm a believer that I like to try to catch the ball not just at the bottom, but right at the point at which that putter starts to go upward. That just tends to put a nice little top spin on the ball, and it really hugs the green nicely when I do that. So next, we're just going to talk about the length of the stroke. So simply, on a shorter putt, you're going to have a much shorter stroke. On a longer putt, you're going to have a much longer stroke. So I control my distance and my speed much more by the length of my stroke than I do the speed of my stroke. I don't really believe in really accelerating and hitting putts hard. I like to see you have a nice little pendulum motion where it's an even tempo back and through, but you can control your distance that the ball travels based on the length of your stroke. So you put all those things together and hopefully it looks a little something like this. Okay, always remember, with Golf Simplified, I always want you to keep it simple. Thanks for watching.